funny when people ask me about my motivation and, why I want to achieve so much and this, competition at no cost type of philosophy. It's got to be genetic, I think. I would say it comes from my dad, but I actually think it comes from his dad. I had the opportunity to meet my grandfather back in the old country in Greece when I was younger, and we share the same name. I was named after him. And I remember him always used to tell me, he'd bring me aside and he'd speak to me in Greek and he'd whisper in my ear and he would say, Nikos Bontis, onoma ke pragma. And what does that mean in Greek? It means my name, Nick Bontis. Onoma ke pragma literally translated means the name, the entity, which I think what he was trying to do, even when I was a very, very young boy, was instill this respect that I had for the brand. What brand? The brand of Nick Bontis, just who I am and making sure that I always achieve and do to the best of my ability. I went to normal English elementary school during the day, and then at night I would go to Greek school because my parents felt it was very, very important for me to understand my Greek culture, my background, and maintain the language. In Greek school, it was about the ancient Greek philosophers, the Socratic method of learning, where an instructor would stand in front of the class and pose a question, and we would debate for hours on the answer of that question. And I think it was that experience in Greek school that taught me how to be a much more engaging instructor. Growing up in Scarborough, I played a lot of sports, primarily soccer and track and field. And I ended up playing both of those at the varsity level at university, and was quite successful. I was a Canadian All-Star and MVP in both soccer and track and field, and I was in fact a silver medalist in the Canadian National Championships in the running long jump. I think if you were to speak to people who knew me when I was younger, they would probably tell you that they would guess that I would become an athlete when I grew up. Many of them would never guess, I think, in a million years that I would be an academic. I still think that I'm an athlete, just in academic clothing. I was actually recruited by the soccer coach and the track and field coach to go to the University of Western Ontario, and that's how I ended up there. Now, great thing, of course, is Western's got a great business school, and I went to the Ivy Business School and to the HBA program. I enjoyed it very, very much. Graduating from university, I worked at a bank back home, downtown Toronto, and I was in the middle of the rat race just like everybody else, arriving at Union Station 8 o'clock in the morning, filing away to all the skyscrapers. And in my job as a security analyst in investment banking, I came across a very interesting Fortune magazine article. I think the date was June 7th, 1991. And I remember the article saying, brain power, your company's most important asset. And I said, wow, that's quite a remarkable type of cover story. And I flipped through the pages to learn more about the article, and it talked about this idea of intellectual capital, how it's a very important asset for organizations, yet we have a very difficult time in measuring it and managing it. And it was that article that actually incited me to go back to school to get my PhD. So my PhD dissertation is actually the #1 downloaded thesis in Canada, and it looks into the issues of managing intellectual capital and knowledge management. And I found myself with a unique opportunity of really grabbing onto this field and taking it by the horns and just pushing it to the next level. And that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. I have a software company headquartered in Vancouver, Canada, and this particular software company is called Nexa, which stands for Knowledge Exchange Auction. And basically it's an extension of my research, but what spawned the idea for Nexa was the launch of eBay. So I'm watching this company out of California, and they're auctioning off Pez dispensers and Elvis Presley albums and stuff that's in your garage that ain't worth much. And I thought to myself, can't people also auction off their knowledge? I mean, everybody's got expertise in something. You know how to interview people. I know how to lecture. Somebody knows how to do something. Perhaps you can auction off that expertise as well, just like eBay. So that's how the transition from eBay, an auction house of Pez dispensers, to Nexa, a knowledge exchange auction, got spawned off. Well, I think everybody knows, and if they don't, they should, that the secret behind all productive and powerful men is a productive and powerful woman. So I'm going to say the exact same thing. My wife is my partner. She does the things that allow me to pursue the things that I want to pursue as well. So all the accolades or awards that I may win, really, she deserves them as well. Because she's the one that's actually bringing 3 beautiful children into my life, who's bringing them up and allowing me the opportunity to pursue my career. It's very difficult to spend all the time that I want with my children, and I do as much as I can. In fact, there are specific days of the week where I will do nothing, speak to no one, answer no call or no email, and concentrate on my children from morning right through till night. And the real secret about time is not scarce. Everybody's got the exact same amount of time. What is scarce is your attention span. How do you optimally allocate the time that is given to you? You have an opportunity when you wake up in the morning to spend the next 18 hours a certain way. How do you choose to do it? And for me, I don't know how many more 18-hour opportunities I'm going to get, so I'm going to get every single bang out of my buck that I can, and that's the way I treat every single morning when I wake up. Being an academic is one of the best decisions I ever made, because you get to walk into the classroom every day and re-energize with students. You get to do stuff on the side that you're interested in. I think my philosophy is that I walk into the classroom and I say, you know what, this kid paid money to sit in the classroom to listen to someone. You can listen to anybody and not get your money's worth, or you can listen to a professor that's going to blow you away. So when the student walks out of the classroom, they say, that was the best return on investment I've ever received.
You're going to go to sleep late on a Saturday night, sleep in on a Sunday morning, you're going to be half as stupid as you were the night before.
So my special model for teaching is a word that I like to use even with my students, and that word is inimitability. What does that word mean? It means that you need to bring something unique to the table that makes you stand out, so you have the competitive advantage that nobody else has. And I give that advice to my students when they're going after jobs. I give this advice to my colleagues when they're trying to publish papers. And this is the advice I give myself when I'm in the classroom. What sort of teacher can I be so that every day I bring that inimitable advantage into the classroom? And I do all the things that I possibly can. Use technology, interactivity, problem-based learning, try to use WebCT, video, iPods. I'll use the trading floor to actually have students bring themselves to hands-on experience on how to trade stocks and how to invest and how to develop a portfolio. So I think it's very, very important to bring as many tools as possible into the classroom so that students can learn not only just from the professor, but they can also learn from each other as well. So these last 12 months have been remarkable for me. I've been very, very lucky and honored to win some outstanding awards at McMaster University. I won the Outstanding Undergraduate Business Professor of the Year Award. I won the Outstanding MBA Professor of the Year Award. And I also won the Outstanding University Professor of the Year Award for all of McMaster simultaneously, which was quite remarkable. But you know what really capped it off for me was to also win Faculty Researcher of the Year Award, because sometimes teachers get criticized. If you're a great teacher, perhaps you don't do great research. Or if you're a great researcher, perhaps you're not a great teacher. And this has been a fantastic year for me, so I'm trying to keep on pushing the limits onward and upward.